There's been a lot of pessimism going around in online spaces recently, and it's not without reason. The internet is changing for the worse with the Online Safety Act and all this new regulation and age verification, the loss of anonymity and privacy not just in the UK but across the world. But sometimes I think we need to remind ourselves that not all hope is lost, and we shouldn't be demoralised into thinking that it is. Because history shows that technology will always move faster than the bureaucrats trying to micromanage every aspect of your life. VPNs and encryption tools that are already in the works will always outpace censorship. Just look at the amount of people using Death Stranding or even Gmod to bypass facial scans. It's hilarious that it's even got to this point, but it shows the determination that people have to circumvent these laws. It's also good to see that we're kind of unified across the political spectrum here, because there's a lot of people that are realizing that this isn't about left versus right like a lot of issues nowadays. It's not left versus right, it's authoritarian versus libertarian. The more governments and tech giants overreach, the more normies wake up to privacy and free speech issues. But from a more philosophical, evolutionary standpoint though, you simply cannot stop the flow of information. Humans are very good at finding ways to express ourselves. We have very good communication, it's kind of what humans do best. And look, if they ban VPNs and we can't use the surface web, we'll use the deep web. And if they ban the Tor browser and control the whole internet, then I guess we'll have to move to physical storage. We'll have to send messages via USB sticks. And if they ban the USB sticks, then we'll send letters. And if they crack down on the postal service, then I guess we'll go back to using carrier pigeons. We will find a way to stay connected. And as long as we can stay connected and speak our minds, authoritarians will lose. Because if there's one thing that authoritarians hate the most, it's people being able to speak out to power. Because they know their ideas don't hold up to scrutiny, and they're not good ideas. Good ideas should be able to, stand the test of time and stand the test of public debate. It is deeply inhumane to deprive people of their freedom of expression, because in doing so, you're also depriving them of all their other rights. And I don't care whether this censorship and this control is coming from the state, big tech, the church, just think of how the printing press basically took away the church's monopoly on information, because it was the Middle Ages. People weren't as connected, obviously, and whoever controlled that flow of information had a ridiculous amount of power. Authoritarians look at the internet in the exact same way that the church looked at the printing press, because it threatens their ideology and their ideas don't hold up to scrutiny. But I just think something's gotta give. And people will realize if YouTube keeps going down this road of age verification and the simultaneous push for YouTube Kids, and by the way, I think YouTube Kids is the worst thing that YouTube has ever done, really. I think it's the worst possible decision YouTube could have made, fostering kids into their ecosystem. Because in doing so, the rest of the platform got sanitized. People got demonetized, people stopped uploading, and the entire platform changed. Meanwhile, there were a lot of videos on YouTube Kids that were obviously not for kids, that were, full of stuff that I don't even want to say on this video. I mean, there was the situation with timestamps. There were a lot of these channels were completely innocent. They were like family vlog channels. But you had creepy weirdos in the comments posting timestamps of the kids in suggestive positions to signal to other fucking weirdos that wanted to see that shit. So that is why YouTube Kids has no comments anymore. It's specifically for that reason, that there were a ton of pedos in the comments. It's gross, it's fucking disgusting, but YouTube fostered them into that ecosystem instead of just taking a hardline stance and saying, no, we're not for kids. They could have done that. They could have easily done that, but they would have lost a fuck ton of money. I don't know. I wanted this to be a white pill video, but I'm just getting on tangents and ranting about things now. One more thing I will say though, it is interesting hearing people like Keir Starmer say You know, things like, oh, we want the internet to be a, you know, friendly, inclusive space for everybody. And I just think, like, what a blatant misunderstanding of what the internet was. Maybe not is anymore, but, you know, was supposed to be. The internet by design isn't inclusive. There's niche little communities that you can feel included in, but you shouldn't feel included everywhere you go on the internet. That's ridiculous. And that includes kids. Kids shouldn't be included everywhere on the internet. Of course they shouldn't be. But they're framing it as if, like, everywhere needs to be inclusive to every protected characteristic and kids, and I just don't agree. I think the internet used to be so weird and niche and decentralized from big social media platforms, and now even Reddit is so full of, and I hate using this word too much because, like, I feel like some people would probably call me a normie, but Reddit is the most normie fucking site in the world. Like, it's not even 4chan. 4chan is very, very sanitized compared to what it used to be. Nowhere near as bad as it used to be. Speaking of 4chan, the UK government is now threatening the site because they refuse to comply with Ofcom regulation. 4chan's legal team has recently responded, and they don't seem to really care. They responded in saying that 4chan is a United States company incorporated in Delaware with no establishment, assets, or operations in the United Kingdom. Any attempt to impose or enforce a penalty against 4chan will be resisted in US federal court. American businesses do not surrender their First Amendment rights because a foreign bureaucrat sends them an email. That is hilarious. So they're just sticking a finger up, basically, and I can't help but respect them. Fair play to them. You know, I know people think that 4chan is like the devil's anus of the internet and nobody should go there, and anybody that goes there is a degenerate or whatever. 4chan is, I mean, sure, there are boards that are more edgy than others, but I think for the most part, like, there are boards on 4chan that are quite tame compared to the shit that you might see, even on a place like Instagram. You know, I'm not saying it's, like, brand safe. It's definitely not. It's, you know, if you go on 4chan, you're gonna see something that probably offends you. It's just good to see that American companies are just saying, no, like, you're a foreign bureaucrat, we don't listen to you, we have no infrastructure in the UK, so why should we care? So the result of this is probably gonna be a blanketed ban on all UK-based ISPs. I have heard people in the UK being banned from 4chan, but right now I think it entirely depends on the ISP. I can still access it. I don't have any issue going on it. That might change in the future. But I think this was just worth a mention, and it shows that, like, the old internet, because say what you want about 4chan, but it's a relic of the old internet, and it kind of, well, I think it should be preserved. And I don't like things just disappearing and people being okay with it because, oh, you know, that website had things that I didn't like on it. But anyway, that's all I've got to say, so see ya. Take it easy.